Presented by Roper Kia, Bob's Appliance Center, Missouri Southern State University, and Girard Medical Center.
Welcome into Week 6 of Press Box. I'm Sports Director Ryan Blank alongside Ben McLeish. And Ben, we're over halfway through this Press Box season. The action's heating up, but so are we with a loaded show tonight.
That's right. We have 15 games to showcase this week across the 4 states area. As we inch closer and closer to the playoffs, each week becomes more important.
You said it. Each week becomes more and more crucial as we hit the home stretch for postseason football. We open the show with our KOAM Game of the Week in Neosho. Wildcats hosting Joplin. The Eagles have won each of the last 7 matchups against Neosho. First play of the game, Blaine Patterson keeps it for himself. He'll make a nice move to the outside, running past Eagle defenders before being brought down at the Joplin 25-yard line. Next play is Keyshawn Roan taking the handoff. He'll head towards the sideline, running right past the defense. He will go all the way into the end zone. 7-0 Wildcats up very early in this one. The student section loving it, looking to end a little losing streak to the Eagles. Joplin would punt away on their first possession. Neosho back on offense. Colby McGahee with the carry, but he would bobble the snap. Eagles take over. Joplin on offense. Daniel Rose back in at quarterback, handing it off to Travion McCadney for a nice gain inside Neosho territory. Setting up the Eagles looking to score and tie this game up. Next play, having issues with the snap, but Rose would fall on it to keep possession. A few plays later, Rose finds Lane Royal, who would shed a few tackles, finally being brought down at the 38-yard line. Later in the drive, going back to Trent McCadney, he'll get the carry. Another nice gain here, setting them up inside the red zone. Now to the brother, Travion McCadney. He has a carry. He has no issues getting past that Neosho defense. Touchdown Eagles, 7-7 in the first quarter. This one would go down to the wire. Joplin pulls out the win, 31-28 the final.
Carthage coming off a big win over Joplin, hosting Republic. Opening drive for Republic, Preston McCracken calls his own number, and he's got pay dirt, cutting towards the sideline and scoring to give the Tigers an early lead. Carthage looking to respond. Landon West with room of his own, and he's in a foot race, getting deep into enemy territory before going out of bounds. Later in the half, it's McCracken again finding pay dirt for the second time to extend the Tigers' lead. Carthage looking to respond, but this pass falls incomplete, setting up a punt where Jackson Taylor cuts down the far sideline, weaving through defenders before being brought down inside the 20-yard line. The Carthage would get on the board on their next drive as Zane Browning bullies his way into the end zone as the Tigers come from behind and hit a walk-off field goal with Malachi Douglas to stun Republic, 30-28 the final.
Senior night in Webb City. Cardinals being led out by a special guest, a middle schooler named Jackson, fighting leukemia for the 3rd time. Cardinals taking on Willard. Early first quarter, senior Mason Williams takes it out to the left. He takes it in, diving in for the touchdown. Webb City up by 7. Jackson's all smiles with that score. Check it out, some special teams action. A fake out, check out this perfect bounce. Webb City recovers the ball. Cardinals back in business. Ensuing drive, it's Trey Turner taking the reverse. And there goes that man. Willard can't stop him, and that's a touchdown for the senior on senior night. Webb City now up by 2 scores. And they're not done there. The Tigers on the punt, and the snap is going to be too high, and that ball rolls right into the end zone for the Cardinals to recover for the touchdown. And it doesn't get any better for Willard. Webb City shuts out the Tigers 55-0 on their senior night.
Nevada coming off a big win over rival Lamar, clashing with Cassville. Both Cassville and Nevada came in fired up for this key Big 8 conference showdown. Nevada quarterback Kellen Braden hands off to Will Jackson, who scores from 3 yards out, but the play was called back on a penalty. Nevada's drive came to an end when Cassville's Mason Bryan gets the sack on Braden on 4th down. Cassville quarterback Jaron Stearns hands off to Easton Hughes, who breaks away from the line of scrimmage, gets into the secondary, and finally gets taken down inside the Nevada 20. On the next play, Stearns hands off to Bryan, who turns on speed up the middle for a 24-yard touchdown. But Nevada came back with Braden passing to John Collins for a 57-yard touchdown. It's Cassville who takes this one 27-20 over Nevada.
McDonald County eyeing a second straight win, hosting undefeated Seneca. Seneca would score just before the half, making it 28-12 Indians at halftime. Third quarter, Mustangs trying to get back on the board. Ryder Martin looking for a receiver, decides to keep it. Nice carry here, headed to the sideline. He'd be running out of bounds, but then a late hit would tack on 15 yards. A few plays later, Martin would keep it for himself. He's having no issues on this play, getting past the Seneca defense into the end zone for the score. Mustangs now going for 2. Martin's going to drop back, rolling out, looking for a man. He's going to throw it across the field, and he's got Connor Land for the conversion, 28-20 Seneca. Seneca trying to answer. Brody Probert dropping back, looking downfield. He's going to find a guy, and it's Drew Sherwood down the middle, brought down at the Mustang 12-yard line. 2 plays later, Roman Miller would get his chance, easily runs this one up the middle for the TD. 35-20 Indians at that point, and that would be the final. Seneca with the W on the road.
Under the lights on Thursday night, New Heights taking on Lockwood at Fred G. Hughes Stadium. Lockwood leads 56-8 in the second. Cougars looking to claw their way back in this one. David Williams with the carry. He jukes the defender and has the yardage for the first down. New Heights looking to convert on 4th and 1. Corbin Cronenwet with a short pass to Williams. He breaks a tackle, but Cody Steffen tackles him short of the line to gain, and the Tigers take over on downs. Final minute of the half. 4th down and long for Lockwood. 3 Cougar defenders are there for the stop, and New Heights takes over on downs. Last play of the half. Cougars looking for a miracle. Williams heads for the sideline, but gets brought down, and the Tigers cruise to a road win over the Cougars, 63-8, the final from Joplin.
Another 8-man matchup from Thursday. Jasper hosting Archie, looking for a 3rd straight win. Warwind's first possession, Tristan Leeper with the quarterback keeper, and he races for the end zone untouched. Archie takes the 8-0 lead after their 2-point conversion. Next drive for the Whirlwinds, it's a handoff. This time it's going to go to Weston Bryant. He has nothing but green grass ahead of him, taking it the full length of the field for the house call. Archie with 16 points on just 2 offensive plays. They got the ball right back. Leeper with the quick pass, Jackson Cash. Eagles defense comes up big, ripping the ball out of his hands. Jonathan Baker recovers it for Jasper. But the Eagles' ensuing offensive drive stalls. On the punt, it's Leeper. Now it's the return man. He's going to juke some defenders, and he will find pay dirt for the second time. Whirlwinds lead 24-0 as Archie improves to 6-1 on the season, defeating Jasper on the road 75-14. A busy night in the Show Me State as teams are starting to play some of their best ball with the playoffs around the corner. But we're just getting started here on Press Box. When we return, it's week 6 of action from the Sunflower State.
But first, a look at some scores from around the region.
Welcome back to Press Box. We've run through some great matchups in Missouri, including Neosho Joplin and Carthage Republic, but let's shift the focus to Kansas. It's week 6 of the Sunflower State, but the focus is the same for every team in our region. That's to be playing your best football at the end of the season. Kicking it off with Fort Scott hosting Chanute at home. Tigers coming off a loss to Lebec County, while the Blue Comets took down Independence. Blue Comets held a 12-6 lead at halftime. Opening kickoff in the second half, Alex Hellman takes it back near midfield, setting up the Chanute offense. The Blue Comets got a 15-yard run from Jalen Duncan for a first down on the opening series of the second half. Chanute quarterback Chris Harding, the second, he's going to pass here, completing it to Bo Small for a first down, and that drive will continue, starting to get some momentum. On the next play, Harding hands it off to Duncan, and he will take it 12 yards for the touchdown, getting into the end zone untouched, making it 18-6. This attempt here is going to be botched by the Blue Comets, and they're going to attempt to pass it, but it's picked off by Fort Scott's Colt Light. Fort Scott quarterback Drennan Marlowe, he's going to drop back on their first possession second half. He'll miss the outstretched hands of his receiver, Caden Cannon here, almost a big play. Chanute's defense, though, they would stop Fort Scott's drive here. It's Braddock's Brandcroft sacking Marlowe for a loss on third down to force a punt. Chanute picks up the road win over Fort Scott, 24-12.
Frontenac at home for the second straight week, welcoming in Baxter Springs. First drive of the game, Brogan Smith rolls into the backfield looking for a target and is brought down by Braden Wade, who forces a fumble in Frontenac territory. The Lions attempt to pass on their next possession, only for their attempt to be denied, with Cole Parrish being forced to flick the ball forward. The Raiders are back with the ball. This time it's handed off to Luke Snead, who gets a massive gain for the Raiders in Lions territory. Same drive, Brogan Smith looking for a target, and he finds Jacob Murphy, who battles it into the end zone, adding points for the Raiders. Frodnack goes on to beat Baxter Springs 35-7, the final.
Undefeated Colgan returned to Hutch Field for homecoming against Jayhawk Lynn. Opening Panthers drive off an interception from Brady Batega. Will Schrummer can't handle the fourth down snap. He recovers, rolls out before launching it deep, connecting with Brady, but Dart for the touchdown. Colgan leads 7-0. Following a Brock Ray Dell fumble recovery, Panthers back in the red zone. The give to Clayton Adamson, who fights his way for the score, extending the lead. Ensuing kickoff that's going to be hauled in inside the 15-yard line. There's some room to run. Breaking some tackles, flipping the field before being brought down inside Colgan territory. Great start for that Jayhawk Lynn offense. Fourth down for the Jayhawks. Denton White evading pressure, firing on the run, but Batega hauls in his second interception of the night. And on the next Panthers drive, Schrummer with the handoff to Will Schrummer, and he takes it in for 6, and it is now 21-0. Early second quarter after a Brady Crossland interception this time, Colgan goes back to Adamson. He'll find a hole on the outside, waltzing his way to pay dirt for the second time. Panthers dominate their homecoming matchup, 56-6 the final.
Columbus coming off their first win of the season, taking on Riverton at home. Rams lead 14-6 at half. Titans, Cole Howard launching it downfield. He's got Jonas Stover on the sideline. He takes it inside the Rams 30. Columbus can tie it with a touchdown drive, but not so fast, says Grady Thomas with the sack, and that sets up 4th and long for the Titans, but they're gonna go for it. Howard drops back, looking downfield. Nothing's open, and he rolls to his left and finds the sideline. He's going to run for the first down, but he's brought just short. Riverton would add another touchdown and goes on to take down the Titans 21-12.
Galena looking for a bounce-back win, hosting Cherryvale on senior night. Chargers' Ethan Umbarger with the carry. He's going to have some space, breaks a tackle. He'll take it deep into Bulldog territory. Cherryvale goes on to score a touchdown on the drive. Next possession for Galena, it's Chase Cottrell dropping back. He's going to fire it downfield, looking for his man, but Umbarker makes the play on defense, picking off the pass. Chargers take over, but immediately face 4th down. They're going for it. Wyatt Duncan, he'll roll out to his left, and his pass is going to be picked off, and it's going to be Cottrell picking it off, taking it past the 50 to set up that Bulldog offense inside enemy territory. They take it down to the goal line, hand it off to no other than their running back, Evan Wittenmeyer, who bullies his way into the end zone. Galena goes for 2 and doesn't get it. Those are the last Bulldog points as Cherryvale takes down Galena 28-6.
Northeast back at home in Arma for homecoming, with the Vikings facing the 4-1 Oswego Indians. Second down for Northeast, Braden Smith fools an Oswego defender and scores the touchdown within the first 2 minutes of the game. Oswego answers immediately after, though. Dimitri Williamson takes the ball and runs it into Viking territory. No one's there to stop him as he scores the Indians' first touchdown just 1 minute later. Into the second quarter, Vikings' Jackson Payne throws a deep pass to his man, Taven Willard. Just barely evades Owen Jackson and scores the touchdown. Oswego taking possession. Williamson attempts to run around the Vikings' defensive line, only to be tackled, causing a fumble, which Braden Smith from Northeast recovers. Immediately following that play, Payne throws a pass aimed at Justin Buss, but the Indians' Owen Jackson intercepts it and charges forward for a big gain. We don't have the final score, but Oswego led the Vikings 42-28 in the second quarter.
That's the action from Kansas, but there's still a couple of more games to showcase when we come back as undefeated Wyandotte hosts Chelsea. Commerce clashes with Colcord at home. So stay tuned for those on Press Box. But first, look at some scores from across the region.
Welcome back to Press Box. We've highlighted 13 games throughout the show so far, but there's still more action to show from Oklahoma. Undefeated Wyandotte looking to improve to 6-0 on the season, hosting Chelsea, while Commerce and Colcord face off at the home of the Tigers. Kicking it off in Wyandotte, the Bears coming off a big win over Kansas last week. Wyandotte, first time possession of the game, and it doesn't take long for them to get rolling as quarterback Hunter White finds senior Tayton Freet, who makes a defender miss and scores the opening touchdown. Chelsea gets the ball, and senior Waylon Stevenson takes it up the middle for 14 yards and a first down. Drive would stall near midfield, though. Wyandotte's running game gets going as well into 3rd down and 5. Senior Tayton Freet almost gets tripped up and maintains his balance and scampers for 15 yards and a first down. This was the Tayton Freet drive as he gets the ball at Chelsea 11-yard line and finishes it off with the touchdown run to increase the Bears' lead to 14-0. Wyandotte stays undefeated at home, 56-6 the final.
Commerce back at home to battle Colcord, who's coming off back-to-back losses. Score tied 14-14 in the second. Commerce junior running back Juan Gomez takes the ball to the outside, runs through some arm tackles for a 14-yard gain. A couple plays later, sophomore quarterback Landon Hart, he'll throw a dime to Gomez for the go-ahead 27-yard touchdown pass. Commerce up 20-14. What a dime there. Colcord next driving at senior quarterback Gio Acosta on the quarterback dive. He'll break through an arm tackle. He's got 55 yards in him, taking it inside Commerce territory. Then we're going to go roughly a minute or so left in the first half. Quarterback Gio Acosta, again, he's going to call his own number. Again, from 11 yards out for the tying touchdown. After the extra point, the Hornets take the lead into halftime, 21-20, as they pull away in the second half for a final 42-28.
Well, 15 games up, 15 games down here on Press Box. But you all know that Ryan and I aren't done quite yet. Coming up, we will recap another week of football in our area and take a look ahead to the weekend and next week. But first, look at some scores from around the region.
Welcome back to Press Box. As always, let's round out the show with a recap of some of the best things we saw tonight. We have a lot to choose from with 15 games. Let's kick it off with our weekly takeaways. And Ben, start it off. What's your first takeaway?
My first takeaway is the Carthage Tigers. Coming from behind to stun Republic at home. They trailed early on, but mounted a comeback and went 78 yards down the field with under a minute and a half left for the game-winning field goal. What a win for the Tigers.
That was a great win. We were watching that one. My takeaway, though, is the Colgan Panthers. This team is the best in all of Class A, and I don't think there's much competition dominating their homecoming matchup. The defense forcing 4 turnovers on their first 4 drives. The offense scoring on each of their possessions in the first half. Clayton Adamson with 5 scores himself. This Panthers team, they're preying on every opponent this year.
Well, I have to talk about the Seneca Indians. This team just wins as they take down McDonald County on the road to stay undefeated. The Indians continue to grow, and it's scary to think that we haven't even seen their full potential yet, as head coach Cody Hilburn says.
Now it's time for the performance of the week. Let us know who you think had the best performance of the night by heading to KOAMnews.com/vote. Your first option is Colgan star running back Clayton Adamson, scoring not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 touchdowns in just the first half. A dominant showing from the Panthers senior.
Our second nominee is the Seneca Indians, picking up a big road win over McDonald County tonight to improve to 7-0 on the season. We all know how dominant of a program Seneca is, and this team continues their winning ways and are a legitimate threat for the state title.
Our final nominee has to be the Carthage Tigers, a massive big-time win over Republic at home. They trailed 21-7 in the first half, trailed by 1 late in the game before forcing a punt late in that fourth quarter, and marching down the field under a minute and a half. Malachi Douglas, the hero, hitting the walk-off game-winning field goal. Carthage is proving to be a true state title contender.
Well, looking ahead to next week, starting with Thursday Night Lights with the rivalry renewed between Miami and Grove. The Ridge Runners coming off a win over top 5 ranked Fort Gibson tonight. Miami giving Skiatook a run for their money. We are playing better.
In Kansas, the Purple Dragons of Pittsburgh are back at Hutch Field to take on the Chanute Blue Comets. Chanute coming off a road win over Fort Scott, while Pittsburgh will look to get back in the win column.
And in Missouri, our KOAM game of the week is in Carthage as the Tigers take on the Webb City Cardinals. Carthage riding high off a comeback win, stunning Republic at the buzzer. Webb City has been one of the top teams in our area this year as well. This matchup is definitely one to look out for.
Looking at this weekend of college football, the Pitt State Gorillas are on fire, winning each of their last 4 games. This week, they have a date with Washburn for homecoming. The Gorillas defense is coming off a shutout performance against Nebraska Kearney as they continue to set the tone. Offensively, Jackson Berry, he's spreading the ball around. He's continuing to get better and better each week. The PSU ground game, though, they've been fantastic, playing their best in recent weeks, led by Cleo Chandler Jr. and Samari Pelode-Gary. Kickoff 2 p.m. in the Jungle at Kearney Smith Stadium on Saturday.
Well, the Missouri Southern Lions look to snap their 3-game losing skid and get their first MIAA win this weekend. But they'll need to do it on the road. They travel to Emporia State to take on the Hornets Saturday. The Lions' first MIAA road game didn't go their way. They lost to Central Missouri 62-10, while MSSU just went toe-to-toe with the 21st ranked Hornets. Tigers, the Hornets are coming off a statement 50-14 win against Missouri Western. Kickoff against the Hornets this Saturday is at 1 p.m.
The Kansas City Chiefs are back at Arrowhead Stadium for Sunday Night Football against the Lions on Sunday. Chiefs coming off a bad loss in Jacksonville after committing 13 penalties. Need to be more disciplined. The battle I'm watching is 4th down. 2 highly successful teams on 4th down, but last game without Rashee Rice, so that'll be a good thing. Thank you for watching this week's edition of Press Box. We'll see you same time, same place here in the studios next week.